friends, thanks for joining me. I am participating in Junk Journal July. Now, in the past with Junk Journal July and Junk Journal January, I've typically put out a video every single day. But I've got some other things going on, so I think I'm going to do 1 or 2 videos per week with Junk Journal July. And it will probably be 1, to be honest with you. I will pick a set day for the day of the week that I'm going to end up putting these out, and I will try to keep it on that day so that if you're really into Junk Journal July, you can just look for that day. At any rate, I will probably go ahead and create a playlist, so if you miss one of my videos, you can check it out. Now, I want to mention that this collaboration is hosted by Meg Journals, and she does it here on YouTube as well as Instagram. She does this fun event in collaboration with Get Messy Art. Meg has a list of collaborators, and also it's an open collaboration, so if you'd like to participate, you can. Did I mention prompts? I can't remember. So she's got a list of prompts for each day of the month for July. For example, today I'm going to do the first 3 days, and the prompts are spark, postcard, and fold. And I'm going to end up doing all 3 of those prompts on this spread. So this first page is for spark. When I'm looking for inspiration and I'm going through my magazines, that's sort of what I would call the inspiration is a spark. It's a spark to get me going on the page that I want to create. I typically go into this having no plan at all, which is great, and that's why the spark is so important. So when I saw this advertisement and it had all this beautiful purple on it, I knew right away I was sparked and I wanted to use it. As you can see, I'm trying to cover almost my entire page with this particular pattern. And while I'm doing that, I want to just say thank you so much for being here. I want to mention to you that you might notice some light fluctuation as you're looking at your screen. And don't worry, it is not your screen. I have a curtain outside my window because I live in Florida and it's so very hot. The curtain's on the outside and the wind blows it. And so when that happens, the sunshine, it shifts because the curtain is in front of the window or it's not. So I didn't want you to be alarmed and think there was something wrong with your screen. It's just my situation right now because it's so hot and I have to have that curtain out there. I have a curtain on the inside too, but I typically open that when I'm doing my videos just to let the sunshine flow in. I do not have double pane windows. That's something I hope to do at my house in the future, but right now I have single pane, so when the sun hits the window, it raises the degree of my room like 10 degrees. I can't handle it. It's too much. So anyway, moving on. I've got another image here that I'm getting ready to add, and it is, I think these are hydrangeas, if I'm correct. We don't grow those in Florida. I think it's too, speaking of hot, I think it's too hot here. So anyway, I went ahead and put those on the page. There's a smaller image of the hydrangeas on this magazine, and I'm going to get ready to cut those out as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them, but since they go together, I'm definitely going to cut it out so I have it at the ready. Now I'm cutting out an image that I knew I wanted to use and definitely sparked my imagination. So this is a little girl. I'm sorry I'm cutting off screen a little bit, but this is a little girl. She is wearing a raincoat and rain boots. She's holding these big white balloons, and there's a saying, and I can't remember what it says right now, but we'll figure that out shortly. But anyway, I'm cutting her out because I definitely want to use that. Apparently I'm adding these flowers to the page. Let me see what I'm doing here. It's been a few days since I created this collage, and I'm voicing over, as you can tell. Okay, so I wanted to cover the words. I didn't really like how the words were sticking out. So since the girl's wearing yellow, I thought it'd be perfectly fine to add some sunflowers because that would coordinate with her really nicely. The words that go across the balloons were really long and they would have extended into the other page, which sometimes I actually don't mind. But since I'm not sure what I'm going to do on the other page, I went ahead and cut them off, and I'm going to add them below the first line of words. Let me know if you're doing Junk Journal July. I've met so many new friends doing this collaboration, and it's been a lot of fun. I always find collage to be very relaxing. I find it to be, though it's relaxing, I find it also to be mentally stimulating and artistically stimulating, which I think is why Meg does this. She talks about that quite a bit. And so it's just so much fun, and I always look forward to it. I'm going to tuck the balloons under the sunflowers a little bit because I think that's going to look a lot better. So I went ahead, the glue is still pretty fresh, so I peeled that up and then I laid that over top and then just pressed it down, and I think that looks a lot better. So now I'm adding the second line of words. The words say, "Only with skylight can you decorate with the sun, moon, and clouds." I'm going to go ahead and write on here that this was day 1 of Junk Journal July, that the prompt was spark. I'm going to show this to you up close, and then we're going to move on to day 2. And the prompt for day 2 is postcard. Here is a close-up of our finished collage. I loved doing this collage. And stay tuned because day 2 and day 3, I'm actually going to put on one page, and that's coming up right now. Right, let's get ready. So I know that I would like to use some purple just to bring the spread together, especially since the subject matter, not the subject matter, but the prompts are very different. As mentioned earlier, our prompts are postcard and fold. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab the purple pages that I have, and I'm tearing them, and I'm going to glue them onto the yellow page just to create a collaged background. Not really going after anything particular here. I just want to get these down so that I know I have some purple on the page. The first one you can see I tore in half diagonally, and so I'm putting each corner in each corner. Does that make sense? Hopefully you can see that I did it. And then this piece here was a scrap, so I thought, well, it's purple, so let's go ahead and use that. So I'm going to put that in the upper right-hand side. And then I have another piece of scrap that I'm going to use on here. It's kind of an odd shape, but that's perfect because it's going to fit right inside this empty space here. I needed postcards last year for some reason, so I actually created a set of postcards. And so, believe it or not, they happen to be purple. You'll see one coming up here in just a minute. What I'm not going to share is the letter that I wrote to myself on the postcard. So I've been going through a little bit of a time of loss, and it's made me sad. And one of the greatest ways to deal with sadness is to journal about it. So that's what I did here. I just showed you the postcard wasn't big enough. I needed more room. So I went ahead, I wrote on the postcard, I wrote on a piece of paper, and then I wrote on another piece of paper, which I folded. So we've got postcard, and then I have the paper that I folded that I wrote on, which is tucked in the green pocket. And you can see the bottom of the green pocket right here. Now I am writing down that this was Junk Journal July, what the days were, and also what the prompts were. So days 2 and 3 ended up being a little bit of a simpler page, but that's okay. You know, sometimes we have to take care of ourselves, and I'm glad that the prompts prompted me to do some journaling because I really, really needed to do that for my own mental and emotional health. And I'm doing much better today, and so don't be concerned. Everything's fine. I want to thank you so much for being here. Thanks for watching. See you soon.